Hello, my name is Miriam Jean Baptiste, and for my Teachers in Action project, I decided to help my nephew with telling time, and this is for the course EEX 4070. What is ADHD? ADHD is a mental disorder that can result in behavioral problems, learning disabilities. Some symptoms include daydreaming a lot, forgetfulness, talkative, trouble staying on task, and hyperactivity, and this can also result in students' social skills. On the flip side, some students do not have these symptoms, but they can also have ADHD. My nephew is actually a second grader who has ADHD, and because I was not able to go to the physical site to complete this project due to COVID-19, I actually stayed home and completed this activity with him. My focus was to help my nephew understand the traditional way to tell time and also the digital way. I did use a real clock and a watch to help him understand the different functions, such as the hour hand, the minute hand. We did review the numbers on the clock. We did go from 12 all the way back up to 12 a.m. and what it meant to be 12 p.m. I did explain to him the one being 05, 2 being 10. For example, it would be 110, 115, and so forth. I did use different worksheets that I found online to help him better understand the content here. I did use this worksheet. We actually had to do it on a whiteboard, but he would have to fill in all of the numbers, which he did. And I also used other worksheets such as where the clock stated a time like 1:15 a.m., 1:15 p.m., and he would have to go ahead and write that down. I did time the activities that we were doing because if he was doing an individual activity, I would tell him, hey, I'm going to give you 5 minutes to do this, 10 minutes to do that. And if he was able to stay on task for that amount of time, he would get a small treat. I did use YouTube videos to also support the information that I was providing him with. Accommodations. So I know that I wouldn't be able to have my nephew sit for 5 minutes and teach him this content. So what I did was break it up for 5 days. I did 3 hours, and I also did allow him breaks in between. I did give him time to just be active. Also watch different educational videos that was not pertaining to the topic at hand. So my student, which is my nephew, he is 7 years old. He's African American. Culture background is Haitian. He enjoys cars, trucks. His favorite color is red, and he is a smart and loving young man. So my nephew was actually tested for ADHD. Therefore, he do qualify for the accommodations and modifications when he is at a traditional school setting, which consists of extra time on assignments, less homework, and breaks if necessary. And for this project, it was only one-on-one, so it's just me and him working on this project. Here I put in some pictures. That's him working on the activity that I showed previously. That was the prize section that I had. I did put it in red, which can be tempting, but I really wanted him to learn patience. And this is him reviewing some YouTube videos. Here is just more pictures and me showing him the different functions of the watch. I did enjoy working with my nephew on this project because although I do help him with homework regularly, I never actually sat down and taught him for an extended amount of time. The most difficult part was when it came down for him to do the activities on his own. Like I would say, hey, go ahead and review the information, go ahead and practice. At that point, he was either hungry, had to use the bathroom, or just felt the need to stand up. So I did find that part to be a little difficult, and I would have to consistently redirect him to the subject at hand. My thoughts on the service learning activity is that it is a great way for future teachers to get hands-on experience, especially when working with students with disabilities. The experience that I value the most is to see the progress that he made in the small amount of time. Here I put a photo of the definition of sympathy and empathy because I believe that everything is not always what it seems. This project has really shown me the importance of patience, and I believe we should have compassion and empathy for our students. Be kind, let students know that you care about them and you care about their well-being, and this will be a great way to build a foundation of trust with students because we don't always know what's going on, but we can always let students know that we are here for them and we care about them. This project was for EEX 4070, and I learned that the causes of disabilities is not only by genetics, but it can also be by trauma, toxins, and other factors can play a part in students' disabilities. I learned that siblings with disabilities can have an effect on parents and siblings without disabilities. For example, one assignment that we did in a course actually explained that parents can actually have the student without the disability try writing with their left hand if they're right-handed to see how the other child feels so that they can try to understand. I personally believe that we parents shouldn't keep students out of the loop. They should explain what is going on and what they need to and why they're doing what they do to help the child with the disability so that the child without the disability can understand. And also, I learned the difference between modification and accommodations. Although I knew about it, I was not really aware that modifications cannot be made unless students have an IEP plan, and accommodations can be consistent. Teachers can always make accommodations to better students' education. Lastly, I learned the importance of inclusion and diversity, to always have a classroom that is welcoming, respectful, and a classroom that is accepted all students' culture backgrounds. My thoughts on volunteerism is we should always find ways to give back to our community. In doing so, we learn about ourselves and others. I believe that civic engagement always allows you to connect with your community and help make a difference in the world in which we live. I believe that everyone has something to offer by volunteering. Individuals build relationships and different skills. I also believe that this is one of the best ways to learn because you are working hands on and you have the support of a staff. I will encourage students to embrace service learning because you learn new information, you can network, and you can be a part of a movement. Lastly, I put this photo here. It states, "In a world where you can be anything, be kind." Once again, this project was by Miriam Jean Baptiste for the course EEX 4070. Thank you for your time.